You improve your social skills not by watching YouTube videos, reading books, or talking yourself up in the mirror. You do it by going outside. But don't go outside just yet, because you can't just wander around. You have to talk to people. And not just any people, but people who have slightly better social skills than you. Let me explain. Talking to people with slightly better social skills than you does two things. It allows you to practice talking to people in general, and two, it allows you to learn from them and get examples that you wouldn't be able to get from a YouTube video. Essentially, it gives you someone to copy. When you watch a YouTube video or read a book or something, they might tell you, ask more questions or, try to make more jokes. But the issue is, a lot of the time, you don't know exactly how to do that. And having real people who have done it lots of times and you remember that, you can then use those memories as examples to kind of just copy them. And it's a lot more easy to do that than to try and apply something from a video. Videos obviously have a place, as does reading books and talking yourself up in the mirror, but real improvement comes from interacting with people and learning from how they do it. Now, let's try to flesh out this strategy a little bit more. Let's start by thinking about, why do we actually need practice? Well, there's a couple of different things that practice really helps with. First of all, it helps you put in more effort more easily. So, for example, if you are practicing, putting more effort into making jokes or putting more effort into just talking to people in general. I know I have to do that, because if I don't put effort in, I might just listen to a conversation and not contribute. So by practicing that, the effort kind of becomes more unnatural. It's like going to the gym. The first couple of times you have to put in a lot of effort, and after that you still might not want to go as much, but you still find it easier to go because you've practiced that. So you're practicing putting in that effort. And practice also helps you come up with, jokes or things to ask quicker, and you get better at picking up social cues. So how much social practice do you need? Well, most people already get some from university, work, or school. But I don't think that's enough. And furthermore, a lot of people have a tendency to not talk as much as they should be in those things. So for example, at school, you might not talk to people that much. University, you might go and sit by yourself. Work, your co-workers might be chatting, but maybe you make the excuse that you're behind on work, so you just stick to work. Either way, there's a lot of avoidance of social stuff going on here. And that's one of the things you need to fix if you're going to improve your social skills. What I would recommend is, at school, work, or university, whatever it is, whenever you see other people chatting, that means you should be chatting. It doesn't have to mean you go over and talk to that group, but you have to talk to someone. You would make that effort. Even then, for a lot of people, I think for pretty much everyone, that's not enough. That exposure to just a few co-workers isn't enough, in my opinion. And a lot of the time is going to be spent working or studying or whatever it is you're doing, and not socializing. I would recommend that you find at least one other activity to do per week. Ideally, it would be higher than that. Ideally, you'd be going out like every day. If you want to improve faster, you should go out every day and have some kind of activity. But a nice achievable goal is to sign up for one thing that happens every week that you can go to and just chat. So some examples of activities you can do, there's not an exhaustive list, but you can do any kind of sport, any team sport. You can do any kind of fitness activity class thing, not just going to the gym by yourself, but like a class. You could do a rock climbing class, a dance class, what was the other one? Volunteering, cooking class, that kind of thing. If you're at school, you could join your debate club or some other club. At university, you can join clubs that have weekly kind of activities. And on top of that, you could also join the executive team. And it's worth putting in a fair bit of time to find these activities and find a good one that you will enjoy going to. Because really, when you think about it, the upside for this is you have something good to go to once a week for years. That is a lot of social practice. And you have the potential to meet lifelong friends and like a wife or a husband or whatever. And why do I keep saying that you should do activities that are on every week and talk to the same people every week? I've found that it's a lot easier to just sign up for a recurring activity and do that rather than trying to individually organize, unique one-off events. It also makes it a lot easier motivationally to go to that. And there's less stress because when you go there, everyone will be there. And there's no need to actually have like close friends for this as well. It's more just like acquaintances and people who you get along quite well with. And this can be good because you get more exposure to people who have better social skills, and you get more exposure to a wider variety of people as well, which can be beneficial. Okay, so I want to give you a quick example of why this type of learning is more effective than stuff like watching YouTube videos. So recently I was at a kind of sporting event, and for a couple days, like close to 2 weeks, I was hanging out with this guy, and he was a lot more socially skilled than me. And I noticed as I was talking to him in the group, he had a lot more conversational freedom than I would. He would kind of change topics to quite like weird topics, but people were okay with it. They actually liked it and they went along with it. And I learned from that I actually have permission to kind of fully change the conversation topic, and it'll be okay. People will like that, in fact. So that gives me more confidence to do that. And also I've learned that is a thing that you can do. Whereas if I learned that from a YouTube video, I might know that that's something you can do, but I might not have confidence that that's going to be well received by the other people there. Furthermore, I won't know exactly how to do it. Whereas with this guy, I can just imagine, I can think to how he did it, and I can basically copy him. Humans are quite good at copying other people socially. Like, we use the same words, like I say low key a ton. I copied that from other people. It's kind of unconscious, and you have to tap into this unconscious human urge to just copy how other people socialize. Okay, so to summarize, you actually improve your social skills by talking to people who have slightly better social skills than you 1 time a week, every single week. And remember, you probably already have one of these activities. Remember, when you're here, you have to put in the effort to socialize as much as you can. Whenever there's other people chatting, you have to put in the effort to chat. It's easy to just go to these things and not engage, but the faster you engage, the faster you will improve. And remember, the potential upside to this thing is you make lifelong friends and you improve your social skills. The downside is like you go to an activity that people don't really get along with you and they forget about you next week. You just don't go back. If you're an introvert and you're unsure whether this kind of thing will even work for you, or if that's kind of just your nature, watch this video.